Let's talk about cartoon theme tunes. I'm talking specifically the 1980s. Don't you think there was a period where so many of the theme tunes to the cartoons that we remember just got stuck in your head and you could actually sing them word for word now, exactly in the same way that you could sing your favourite songs from the charts? I'm going to talk about some of my favourite 1980s cartoon theme tunes, and here's the thing. Some of them I didn't even watch the cartoon. I just listened to the theme tune and then walked out the room and got on with my day. How many of you did the same? Let's talk about some of the best 1980s cartoon theme tunes. Here in the UK in September 1985, the BBC launched the Broom Cupboard, and it was a big deal for kids because it was the first in-vision continuity presenter. Prior to that, you just had a voice saying, now on BBC One it's this or it's that. What was great was the presenter didn't talk down to the children and they made it event viewing. So you would have something on in the morning, now not necessarily at the beginning when it first launched, but eventually there'd be something on for the little tiny kids in the morning, possibly something on at lunchtime, but then after school, everyone would run home to watch the BBC Broom Cupboard. What was good fun was, especially when Philip launched it, is he really did make it a thing where the children and the kids didn't feel as if they were being patronised. He was speaking to you just person to person. And when the theme tune was on, they made it such a big deal. He also had a little puppet friend called Gordon the Gopher, although we shouldn't say he was a puppet because he was obviously real. And then subsequently we had other people like Andy Peters who had Ed the Duck, and it went on and on. And so many people launched their career in the Broom Cupboard, and if you get a chance, you might want to watch it on YouTube to reminisce, or you might never have heard of it and you want to see what it was all about.
Do you know, I don't think there's anything to beat Tom and Jerry cartoons. How are you, all right? Now, yesterday we had, just hold on a second, Gordon. Yesterday we had our little clinger. You could see it, but you couldn't hear it. Today you're going to hear it, but not see it. Go. You see, we can do anything in here.
What was great about Philip was he started the idea where he clicked that a lot of the kids loved the songs so much in the introductions to the cartoons that he would actually make the sing-along a key part. And there are actually several cartoons where he would make a big deal of singing it with you before we actually went on to watch the cartoon. I actually think it's so clever that he did that because he gauged what was happening with the audience. And again, subsequently, many of the other presenters went on to do the same thing with their own cartoon. What tended to happen was that each presenter had their cartoon that was their big sing-along, and then when they left and another presenter came in, they would have their cartoon and their big sing-along. So let's talk about some of the 80s cartoons that to me had some of the greatest theme tunes going. So do you remember Dogtanian and the Muskehounds? Now I still have that theme tune in my head to this day, and there are so many people that had kids in the 80s that would actually be able to sing that word for word right now. It was, I think, 1985 when it launched here in the UK, but it was around about 1981 when it actually launched officially. So we got it a few years later. I think it was a Japan and Spanish co-production, and it was based on D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. But honestly, that is one of the best theme tunes, and that is one of the cartoons that I did actually watch all the way through. I've got a really clear, vivid memory of in the summer going to our local shop and buying a packet of Barbie stickers for my Panini sticker album and coming home and opening it while Dogtanian was on and being furious that every single sticker was a doubler and I already had them. So whenever I think of Dogtanian, I remember my waste of money on my Barbie stickers that day. I didn't even have anyone to swap them with, just a pack of doublers. How annoying. How often did that happen to you too? So Dogtanian, what a tune.
One for all and all for one. Musket hounds are always ready. One for all and all for one. Helping everybody. One for all and all for one. It's a pretty story. Sharing everything with fun. That's the way to be.
The next theme tune that got us all singing was Ulysses 31, but we all just called it Ulysses. It's from 1981 and it was a France and Japan co-production based on Greek mythology, and I have to admit that I used to listen for the theme tune and then toddle out the room because it just never captured me, but what a song. So when it was the broom cupboard, Philip actually hand wrote the lyrics. I've read this on, there's a broom cupboard website, so I read this there. But he hand wrote the lyrics, and then kids would write in asking for a copy, and he would photocopy them and send them out. And then what happened is would be a great big sing-along every week when it was on. And if you look on YouTube, there's a brilliant clip where everyone is singing together, and Philip actually fades him and Gordon the gopher in, and we're all just singing together. And my favourite moment is when little Gordon's beside him and he's dancing and singing, and he takes Gordon's little hand and he's spinning him round as if he's doing a twirl. But because he's a hand puppet, he can only spin so far, and then he's got to spin back again, and it's just so cute. So Ulysses is another really good theme tune. Do you remember Mysterious Cities of Gold from 1982, French and Japan co-production about a Spanish boy's adventures in the New World? It's another one where I loved the theme tune and then toddled out the room because I just couldn't get into the actual cartoon. I should really try and watch it again now. That was another broom cupboard under Philip Schofield, I believe. And again, such a good tune. They really did know what they were doing when they got these theme tunes and they hooked you in. Maybe I was just a little bit too young. They hooked me in for the tune and I didn't quite sit down and watch the full thing. But I know that I'm in a minority because I had friends that absolutely loved it. But again, what another tune.
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun. Searching for your ways through adventures every day and night. With the condor in flight, with all your friends in tow, you search for the cities of gold. Wishing for the cities of gold. Someday we will find the cities of gold.
Around the World with Willy Fogg, or Around the World in 80 Days, because there's a couple of different names for this one. It was a 1984 Spanish production. It was based on Phileas Fogg. Now, do you remember this one? Again, what a song. I did watch this one. All of the key characters were based on different animals, and Willy Fogg was actually a lion, if I remember correctly. That was another broom cupboard one, and it was just such a good one. It was, again, I would say that one appealed to more of a different age group of children. I think a lot of the younger ones, bearing in mind that I would have been about 4 or 5 in those days, and that just captured me. The song was great, the animation was great, and I was just hooked, and I would stay for the full cartoon. So yeah, that comes under a couple of different names. I've seen that one, but overall it was again, it reminds me a bit of Dogtanian in the way that it just captured the kids and it captured a lot of different age groups, and that song hooked me in and I did stay for the full cartoon. Do you remember that theme tune? Another great song.
Fogg, I'm the one who made the bet, and I know we'll be exactly right on time. Fogg is my name, I like to play with my life in many ways, that's what they say. Here I am, I'm I'm a Tico, the mascot.
It's my turn, the gentle touch. I'm Molly, they love me so much.
Hey, now the story must go on, 'cause a lot of time is gone, we must be ready to go away.
The next one is Thundercats, and who wasn't all in for Thundercats? 1985. Apparently, the first season cost $15 million to make. So it was an American production with Japanese anime, and it followed these cat-like alien humanoids. And I remember being a little bit, again, bearing in mind I was 5, they were a little bit intimidating, these characters. They were quite scary. And even though you knew it was a cartoon, you knew not to mess with them. You knew that they were serious. So Thundercats was very action-packed. It was a great theme tune. It wasn't necessarily a sing-along. It was more, you know, you are yelling that theme tune. You are in it. And yeah, Thundercats is still popular to this day. And remember, at that point, they really did hit the ground running. They had those action figures. There were the cartoons followed by the adverts. We were in. I think Thundercats was BBC One. I think it was the Broom Cupboard. But the next one that I've got, I'm pretty sure over here was ITV. But Thundercats, to this day, still so popular.
Thundercats! Ho!
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats.
The final one is a bit of a cheat because it's two together. It's He-Man and She-Ra, because He-Man had She-Ra as a long-lost twin sister. So He-Man was launched, I believe, in 1983 and She-Ra was 1985. Hands up, I had the She-Ra toy. My friend had the castle and I really wished I'd have got that. I loved her castle, but you can't have everything. I didn't get the Barbie house either. I made do with the shoebox, but I'm still here. I survived. I believe it was based on the Mattel's Masters of the Universe, and I could be wrong, but I read many years ago that it was one of those cartoons where they actually created the toys first, and then the cartoon was very much a commercial push to make us want to buy the toys, and it worked a treat. So when I think of those two theme tunes, it's not so much a sing-along, it's a bit like Thundercats, it's a shout-along. So you know exactly what's coming and you know when you're going to be holding your sword up in the air. You can basically recite it almost word for word like it's poetry. And if you really did get hooked on the universe, as it were, then you would ask at Christmas and at your birthdays if you could have all the associated toys that went with it, Skeletor, etc. She-Ra had her horse. I've forgotten the horse's name. I'm sure someone can remind me. So it's another one where the theme tune was epic if you were a certain age and you would stop everything you were doing to listen to it. And then also, if you were watching TV and the adverts came on, you would also stop everything you were doing to watch the adverts so you could beg your mum and dad for whatever toy it was that you needed, because you needed it. You didn't want it, you needed it. But again, those theme tunes were great.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said,
By the power of Grayskull!
Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
I am Adora, He-Man's twin sister and defender of the Crystal Castle. This is Spirit, my beloved steed. Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day I held aloft my sword and said, For the honor of Grayskull! I am
So these are some of my key 1980s cartoons that would stop me in my tracks so that I would sing the theme tune, possibly watch the whole cartoon, sometimes not. Again, there's many more, but those are the top ones today. So any era, you tell me, it could be the Flintstones, it could be anything like that. Tell me which cartoons where it's a theme tune stopped you in your tracks, you had to sing along. You might not have thought about it for years, but you could actually sing it word for word right now. I would love to know. Leave me a comment and I'll see you again soon. The last one that I think is one of those theme tunes, it's actually tied together because it's two theme tunes. It's He-Ra and She-Man.